Ever blast the volume only to still miss what the characters are saying? We've all been there. That's where a good AV receiver comes in. It pulls everything together and makes your living room feel like the theater. In this video, we'll go from easy plug-and-play options to full-on beasts that can rattle the walls, showing you which ones bring the biggest sound, the sharpest visuals, and the smartest features. Stick around, you might be surprised by a couple of picks. And yes, there's even a sleeper pick you probably didn't expect. Stick around, hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to check the description for all the details. Number 10. Sony STR-DH590, the simple starter receiver. If you want a simple way to get into home theater, this receiver makes it easy. It's a 5.2 channel unit, so you can build a solid surround setup and even throw in 2 subs for extra bass. No complicated learning curve required. Even though it's on the affordable side, it doesn't skip the basics. You still get a 4K HDR pass-through, so movies and shows look sharp and colorful on today's TVs. Sony's S-Force Pro Virtual Surround also helps if you don't have space for a full setup. It creates a wider soundstage using just 2 speakers, so your room feels more alive. Delivering 725 watts in total, it gives movies the low-end impact they need and keeps music sounding full of life. Built-in Bluetooth lets you stream instantly from your phone, and a smart standby mode powers it up the moment you connect. Between the FM tuner and its analog inputs, it's ready for both today's tech and older favorites. You won't get the fancy extras like Dolby Atmos or DTS-X, and it's not built to drive a massive theater setup. But that's really the point. It keeps things straightforward, reliable, and easy on the budget. For anyone new to surround sound, the STR-DH590 brings that cinematic feel without the hassle. Number 9. Yamaha RX-A2A Aventage, the affordable entry into premium theater. If you've been curious about Yamaha's premium Aventage receivers but don't want to shell out top dollar, this model is a great way to jump in. It's a 7.2 channel setup with a sleek modern look that feels more refined than the chunky boxes you usually see in this price range. Sound-wise, you're covered with Dolby Atmos and DTS-X for that immersive surround experience. Yamaha also adds their Surround AI feature, which listens in on what you're watching and tweaks the effects on the fly. Pair that with YPAO room calibration, and the system does a nice job balancing voices, bass, and music, so everything feels smooth in your space. On the video side, you've got support for 8K at 60 Hz on select inputs and 4K at 120 Hz, which is a win for both gamers and movie lovers. Extras like VRR and ALLM help fast-paced games look cleaner, while Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus keep movies sharp and vibrant. Connectivity doesn't disappoint either. 7 HDMI inputs, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, AirPlay 2, Spotify Connect, and Yamaha's MusicCast for whole home streaming. It even plays nice with Sonos if you plan to expand later. Now, with 100 watts per channel, it's not built to power the giant multi-room theater setups you'll see higher on the list. But for the price, the RX-A2A hits a sweet spot. Premium Yamaha design, strong features, and performance that feels more high-end than what you'd expect at this level. Number 8. Sony STR-AN1000, the gamer-friendly receiver with smart calibration. If your home theater setup doubles as a gaming station, this one's going to check a lot of boxes. It's a 7.2 channel receiver with 8K and 4K 120 support, so you're covered whether you're watching Dolby Vision HDR movies or chasing frames in next-gen games. The motion stays sharp, colors pop, and you don't feel like you're losing quality just to get smoother gameplay. What really stands out here is Sony's 360 spatial sound mapping. Instead of relying only on physical speakers, it uses calibration to create phantom channels, basically tricking your ears into thinking the room is filled with sound from every direction. Pair that with Dolby Atmos and DTS-X, and you get a wraparound soundstage that feels bigger than the hardware sitting in front of you. Setup is pretty painless too. Sony's auto-calibration measures your room and adjusts speaker balance, and the interface is straightforward compared to some of the more intimidating receivers out there. And with streaming built in, you can run music through Chromecast, AirPlay, Spotify Connect, or Bluetooth without extra gear. Of course, with 7 channels and about 100 watts per channel, it's not as beastly as the bigger 9.2 or 11 channel models. But that's the trade-off. It keeps things compact, simpler to use, and at a price point that's easier to swallow. For gamers, small to mid-sized theaters, or anyone who wants big Atmos sound without going overboard, the STR-AN1000 nails that balance. Number 7. Yamaha RX-A4A Aventage, the smart receiver with AI sound. This one's built for people who want theater-grade audio, but with a touch of smart tech that takes some of the guesswork out. Instead of constantly tweaking settings, Yamaha's Surround AI actually analyzes what you're watching in real time, whether it's a movie, a concert, or a game, and adjusts the sound field automatically. Pretty slick if you don't want to dig through menus. It's a 7.2 channel receiver with plenty of punch for mid to large rooms, and the video side is fully future-proof. You get HDMI 2.1 across all inputs with 8K at 60 Hz, 4K at 120 Hz, plus support for Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and HLG. For gamers, VRR and ALLM are on board, so you get smoother motion and lower latency without fiddling with extra settings. On the audio formats, it handles Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, and even Oro 3D for that fully immersive sound bubble. Yamaha also packs in its YPAO room calibration system, which uses multiple measurement points to tune the sound to your space, balancing everything from dialogue clarity to low-end rumble. Connectivity is stacked. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, AirPlay 2, Spotify Connect, and Yamaha's own Music Cast system for whole home audio. It even plays nice with Alexa, Google Assistant, and Sonos. And with 7 HDMI inputs and 3 outputs, you've got plenty of room for all your gear. The only trade-off is that it doesn't hit the same raw channel count as some higher-end 9.2 or 11.2 options. But if you want a receiver that's easier to live with, adjusts itself on the fly, and still brings premium sound and video performance, the RX-A4A delivers without overcomplicating your setup. Number 6. Marantz Cinema 70S, the slim receiver with big personality. If a huge black box isn't your vibe, this model keeps things slim without skimping on performance. You still get that big theater feel, but in a package that works beautifully for apartments, condos, or any space where every inch counts. Even though it's compact, you're still getting a full 7.2 channel design at 50 watts per channel. That means enough muscle to run surround sound with clarity, and Marantz's signature HDAM circuitry adds that warm, detailed tone they're famous for. Movies sound full and dynamic, and music playback has a richness that feels more like a hi-fi stereo system than a basic receiver. When it comes to video, it's stacked with all the modern upgrades: 8K at 60 Hz, 4K at 120 Hz for gaming, plus HDR10+ and Dolby Vision for rich detail and color. Gamers also get smooth motion thanks to VRR and ALLM. On the audio side, it handles Dolby Atmos and DTS-X. And if you don't want to mess with ceiling speakers, the virtual height modes step in to give you that overhead effect. Connectivity is straightforward too. 7 HDMI ports with 3 of them ready for 8K, plus phono inputs for your turntable, USB, and subwoofer outputs. Streaming's a breeze with HEOS, Bluetooth, AirPlay 2, and Wi-Fi. And if you're into smart homes, Alexa and Siri voice control are built right in. The trade-off? With 50 watts per channel, it's not meant for driving massive speaker setups in huge rooms. But in an apartment, condo, or a cozy theater space, the Cinema 70S nails that balance of slim style and high-end sound. Number 5. Onkyo TX-RZ50, the smartly tuned theater receiver. Here's a receiver that doesn't just throw sound at you, it actually shapes it into your room. Thanks to Dirac Live, it calibrates the audio so your space doesn't mess with the soundtrack. That means no more booming bass in one corner and muffled dialogue in another. Everything just feels balanced, no matter where you sit. Inside, it's built with 9.2 channels at 120 watts each, and can even process up to 11.2, so a full 7.2.4 Atmos setup is totally on the table. The HDMI 2.1 ports handle both 8K and 4K at 120 Hz, which means smooth visuals whether you're gaming at high frame rates or settling in for a movie night. A bonus feature, you can actually send different content to different rooms, like a film in the theater while the kids watch something else in another space. Onkyo even teamed up with Klipsch to create an optimize mode for their reference speakers, which takes the guesswork out of crossover settings. Add in THX certification and you know this thing has gone through thousands of tests to make sure what you hear is actually what was intended. It also plays well with just about everything. Sonos integration, streaming from Spotify or Tidal, and even sending high-res audio straight to Bluetooth headphones. The only catch is the feature list can feel a bit overwhelming at first. But once you get it set up, it settles in as the centerpiece of a home theater that feels both powerful and effortless to use. Number 4. Denon AVR X3800H, the feature-packed theater upgrade. This is one of those receivers that feels like a sweet spot. Powerful enough for serious home theater setups, but not so over-the-top that it overwhelms you. It's designed for people who want a real 3D surround experience without diving all the way into the ultra-premium tier. At its core, you've got 9.4 channels pushing 105 watts each. That's plenty for a full Atmos system with multiple subs, and the audio formats cover everything. Dolby Atmos, DTS-X Pro, IMAX Enhanced, and even Auro 3D. If you don't have height speakers, no worries. The virtualization tech creates that overhead effect without the extra hardware. On the video side, it's fully ready for today and tomorrow. 8K passthrough, 4K at 120 Hz, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, Dynamic HDR. Whether you're streaming, gaming, or spinning Blu-rays, it keeps the visuals smooth and vibrant. Plus, you get 9 HDMI 2.1 ports, 6 in, 3 out. So connecting everything from your console to your turntable is simple. What makes it extra fun is the HEOS multi-room streaming. Fire up Spotify or Tidal, and you can send music to different rooms in high quality, no extra gear needed. The only mild trade-off is that setup has a bit of a learning curve, especially with so many features packed in. But once you spend a little time with it, the X3800H rewards you with a balanced mix of power, flexibility, and future-proof design. Number 3. Denon AVR X4800H, the Powerhouse receiver for home theaters. Imagine movie nights where the sound doesn't just come at you, it surrounds you. With this receiver, effects seem to drop in from above. Dialogue stays sharp and centered, and the soundtrack wraps around in smooth, layered detail. Now, the star here is a 9.4-channel design pushing 125 watts per channel. Translation: you can run a serious surround setup with multiple subwoofers and still have headroom to spare. On the video side, it's built for the future. 8K pass-through at 60 Hz, 4K at 120 Hz. Dolby Vision, HDR10+, Dynamic HDR, the works. Hook up your gaming console or that shiny new 8K TV and everything looks and feels seamless. The sound formats are stacked too. Dolby Atmos, DTS-X Pro, IMAX Enhanced, and Auro 3D. Even if your content isn't natively mixed for it, the upmixing makes older stuff feel way more alive. Plus, with Denon's HEOS built in, you can stream to multiple rooms wirelessly, whether it's Spotify, Tidal, or just your go-to playlist. Sure, it takes up some space, costs more than entry-level gear, and the setup might be a little intimidating at first. But that effort pays off. When it's tuned, the whole experience feels like bringing the cinema home. Number 2. Marantz Cinema 50, the Audiophile's theater receiver. This one is for folks who don't just want loud, they want detail, texture, and that warm Marantz character that makes both movies and music feel alive. It's a 9.4-channel powerhouse delivering 110 watts per channel, so you've got the muscle to run a full Atmos setup with multiple subs while keeping the sound smooth and balanced. This receiver is future-ready on the video side, with 8K pass-through, 4K 120 for gaming, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and Dynamic HDR. Features like VRR and ALLM cut lag and keep motion fluid. So whether you're streaming a blockbuster or playing competitively, the picture stays crisp and seamless. Surround formats are stacked. Dolby Atmos, DTS-X Pro, IMAX Enhanced, and Auro 3D. Plus virtual height modes if you don't want to install ceiling speakers. The result is a truly cinematic bubble of sound that's as engaging in action flicks as it is in concert streams. Marantz also leans into ease of use here. 9 HDMI ports, 6 in, 3 out, multiple subwoofer outputs, phono input for vinyl, and built-in HEOS for multi-room streaming. Voice control works with Alexa, Siri, and other smart assistants, and setup is smoothed out with Odyssey Multi-Q XT32 calibration, so you're not fiddling endlessly with levels. The trade-off? It's not the smallest investment, and the design might be more traditional than flashy. But once it's dialed in, the Cinema 50 gives you that signature Marantz warmth and finesse that turns your living room into a place you just want to sit back, dim the lights, and get lost in sound. Number 1. Denon AVR X6800H, the flagship theater beast. If you want the kind of home theater that makes friends stop mid-sentence the second the movie starts, this is the one. It's an 11.4-channel powerhouse, pushing 140 watts per channel, and designed for people who won't settle for anything less than full-scale cinema at home. What makes it special is the sheer flexibility. You can run massive surround setups. Think 7.2.4 with height speakers and multiple subwoofers, and still have power to spare. On the processing side, it handles up to 13.4 channels, which is basically as close as it gets to pro-level theater gear in a living room. Formats like Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, IMAX Enhanced, and Auro 3D are all supported, plus virtualization modes for overhead effects even if you don't add ceiling speakers. On video, it's just as future-proof. 8K passthrough, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, Dynamic HDR, VRR, ALLM, the works. Whether it's high frame rate gaming or the latest blockbuster in 8K, everything looks buttery smooth and razor sharp. And because Denon built in their top-tier HDMI section, you've got 7 inputs and multiple outputs with eARC, so connecting all of your gear is easy. Setup doesn't have to be scary either. The on-screen guide walks you through step-by-step, and Odyssey Multi-Q XT32 with Sub-EQ HT dials in every speaker and subwoofer so the sound is perfectly balanced for your room. Built-in HEOS also means you can stream music wirelessly across your whole house, so it's not just about movies. It's your daily music hub too. Sure, it's a serious investment, and probably overkill if you're just starting out. But for those building a reference-level home theater, the AVR X6800H is the kind of gear you buy once and enjoy for years, without worrying about what's next. It's a true end-game receiver. So there you have it. Whether it's the budget-friendly Sony STR-DH590, the slim Marantz Cinema 70S, or the beastly Denon AVR X6800H, there's a receiver here for every setup. Which one would you drop in your home theater? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your pick. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the description for all the links.